So Jonathan would like to record his video for friends. This
I
talk
finish
will...
it afterwards. Yeah. So thanks for the invitation that I can talk this night. I have to introduce myself shortly. I hope you can understand my German accent English. I am Jonathan from Berlin. I grew up in Berlin and I made an exchange semester at La Trobe University in 2018 from February to July, and there I attended two nice sessions with the Victorian entomologists, and now I wanted to show you, give a short talk about my most favorite holiday region in Middle Germany. But before I um, have I also show something with a naturalist. Oops, this is a dictionary. Here. Well, when I was in Melbourne, there was one sound I couldn't ID, and maybe you can help me. Well, it's a high-pitched voice. I first thought cricket or cicada, and even on Facebook, nobody could help me, and someone hinted, well, maybe it's the Fanta. I'll play you the file. I hope you can hear it. Anyone an idea what it could be? Maybe you can unmute right now or write me a message if you have any idea. I couldn't figure it out by now. Does anyone have a suggestion? No. Okay, then I continue. And then one focus on my small talk will be climate change. I mean, the summers here have got very, very hot during the last few years, and a lot of Mediterranean insects were spreading. And I just want to show you a nice summer audio from intelligent tree cricket. It's a small tree cricket species, and it's expanding a lot because the climate is changing. And just to enjoy the sound, you can hear it with how it is singing. Okay, this just as a preview. Now I have to. Can I switch to the talk? Do you see the talk? Ja. Oh, Screen Sharing wurde unterbrochen. Neue Freigabe. Now I switch to the talk. I hope you can see it.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Now also only 10 slides. So yeah, it's about the summer school or Sommerschule in German in Niederspree, and every year it's my favorite week of the year because you always see species you have not seen before. And I couldn't resist of adding your beautiful mountain cricket or mountain katydid. And yeah, let's get started. Short introduction. What is it? It was a course. It's always 1 week, and it initially was founded for university students. And me and my family, we joined there in 21, and I got heavily addicted. This poster we made in 2010, and this is me as a young boy. I'm a bit older now. And earlier days it was focused on birds, but now we switched more to insects. But of course, we still use our binoculars, and when we have an exciting bird, we talk about it. And as you see in the poster, the insects are also a main part. This I just wanted to know that praying mantis, we have only one species of praying mantis in Germany, and this one is also expanding northwards. Yeah, this is a cool hawk moth where the caterpillar is doing snake mimicry. Very interesting or very important is that we are in the same season. We are always there in July and August every year, and we visit the same habitats. So it was founded in 1995, and I'm there since almost 20 years. So we visit always the same spots, and that means we can document more or less the climate change species shift. Oh no, the species shift which is driven by climate change, we can experience on the spot, and I want to give you some impression. But then another issue is, or problem is, now the average age of our group is between 50 and 60. like in today's meeting, I guess, I'm sorry I had to add it, but it's a global issue for species knowledge and conservation, or in the interest in insects. Young people lack the interest in entomology, and my aim is, maybe I can do it as a profession, to brew new insect enthusiasts, to show the people how to appreciate insects or why we should protect them or what's so exciting about it. I think this evening is a great form of offering knowledge to other people. Yeah, so this is why I think I should work in environmental education. But as always, to get funding is a problem, but we'll see. Now I want to thank the late Michael Abs, or Dr. Michael Abs, that gentleman who passed away unfortunately, but he invented that idea of the summer school, and he was a mentor for us all. Okay, but now that was introduction. Let's get started with insects. There's a nice collage. One of our members did this year, and this is a kind of forest we have. It's a lot of oak. There, this is a blueberry, and we never had it before. We were there every year, but this year a lot of oak eagles were flying around. We saw the males who were frantic, flying around, and we also saw one female who was very weak, who couldn't fly anymore, but only crawling over the ground. And when we caught it, it started to die and laying some eggs. And we got all excited to see this huge moth. Sorry. And there, you see, there's still hope. So not all people also young people are there enjoying, and we got all excited with the rock railing. It's a very rare butterfly in Germany, but in that area it's quite common. And when I saw them flying over the parking place, I was running afterwards to get it with my sweeping net. And then someone said, yeah, release it on the rock here. And happily it was. It stayed there so everybody could take pictures and enjoy it. If it sits on the bare ground, you see it's very well camouflaged. You would have problems to see it. Then some impressions, as I said, 2 slides for the 1,000 species who were not supposed to be here. One exciting one is a scarce swallowtail. This is indigenous in Germany. We have it since a long time, but it's spreading more northernwards, and it's just a very beautiful big swallowtail species. And the larvae, they feed on prunus, so cherry or peach, something like that. And that one must have been very freshly emerged, because it landed there on the tree and it didn't move, so we could all come close, up to 10 centimeter distance, and it was very beautiful, very fresh. It was one of the big highlights of the week to see this very close. Usually they are high up in the sky and fly very fast, but there's one nice one. Then very interesting one is the golden digger wasp. This was extinct in Germany for a long time. It was here in 1800 something or whatnot else, and then 1960 it got extinct, and only recently it comes back, and now it's swarming. It's everywhere. On every flower in certain habitat, you can see them a lot, and they are very huge, up to 2.5 centimeters, and very large, and they hunt katydids for their larvae, even bigger katydids. And yeah, so this is one of the Mediterranean species which is profiting from the climate change. Then there's a nice spider. Sorry, as a spider enthusiast, I have to include the spider and insect talk. This is Ulophobos vulcanarius, the ulufrid, one of the few spiders who lack venom glands. So they don't have venom glands. They kill their prey with crushing, with wrapping them very tightly. And this is also a very rare spider for Germany, because it's limited to very hot regions. And when someone showed it to me, I got very excited and I yelled very loud, and I thought, something is wrong, but it was just my overexcitement. Yeah. Then some other very interesting Mediterranean species. One is a southern hawker, Eschna apinus. It's a smaller hawker, and as you see, the male has very nice, beautiful blue eyes. And we had them in single specimens in the years before, but last year and this year they were everywhere. At one point, Asia was overcrowded, also a sign of climate change. Then very popular for climate change and have always very bad press is the yellow sac spider, Gyracantium punctorium. It's also one of the few spiders in Germany who have a medical significance, so they can bite you quite painfully, but it's not dangerous. So it's more like a wasp sting. It's burning for half an hour and then it's all right. But if you are allergic against the venom, yeah, you have bad luck. But yeah, most probably are not. And also that one was only restricted to very hot regions in southern Germany earlier days, but since many years it's spreading upwards, and also in the areas we were every year, it's getting much more common. And yeah, this is a male looking for a young lady, and as you see, the chili cells are very big, so I can feel the skin. Then my favorite example for the southern or Mediterranean species is that guy. It's a very tiny rose shape, about 15 millimeters long, and we had it never in all our places. And since last year, it's everywhere. No matter which place we turn up, these guys are in the flowers. And as I said, we are always there in the same season, July, August, and we hadn't it before. We could be sure it was not there before. It's very interesting to see how a species appears out of nowhere, and then it's very common. Then this is a short throwback from the talk I gave 2 years back. So 2 years back, I was comparing Australian insects I found on Melbourne campus with some German insects, and there I showed the circle of life slide with the painted apple moth, which was very common at the library at the university, the caterpillars. So I collected them and rigged them and got excited to see the wingless females and the winged males. Interesting how huge the difference in the pupa are. And from the same genus, we have also very common species, the rusty tussock moth. It's very common, but here I never saw the adults, and that's why when I was in Melbourne and I saw these caterpillars, I thought, oh, I have to collect them to see the wingless females. Yeah, I got very excited, and just for comparison, they look really similar. Also, the adult ones look very similar. Then,
I've also seen
oh yeah, are there questions?
at university. At Melbourne University, I've seen the apple moth caterpillars. They must just like going to universities.
Yeah, maybe they were on these Grevillea. No, I forgot the host plant. It was a blue leguminosity. Yeah, but yeah, that as we are with insects, we like mimicry and camouflage. Camouflage is the next one, but here I just wanted to show you some exceptional mimicries. It's a hornet clearing. It's very huge seaweed or clearing moth. So they lack the scales of the wings, and they also hum like hornets, a very loud sound when they fly. And this is a very excellent example of species which are very cryptic but very common. That one, they even live in parks or in the cities on poplar trees. So the larvae, they feed on the wood, so they bury in the wood, but you never see the adult. It's the second time of my life I saw this one, but you can easily record them while when you check the poplar trees and you see the entrance holes or the escaping holes from the adult. So the pupa, the larvae, they form very characteristic holes, and there you can record the species easily, even you never see the adults or only rarely. And then another, I think you have a lot of examples of like that also in Australia, that you can see the tracks, but you don't see the actual animal. And then a very interesting mimicry, very excellent one, is a sawfly. They fly like Polistes, even with hanging legs. I got very excited and I was happy to observe the mating. They look really perfect. If you Google Polistes luminula, is our most common Polistes wasp, they look the very same. But luckily they can't sting. Then we have camouflage. Before I show the weevil, I'll let you some seconds to show the weevil. I just want to say something for Luis Mata, because he got excited when indigenous animals are visiting indigenous plants. This caterpillar of the 8 hawk moth is feeding on Prunus evotina. It's a black cherry. It's introduced from America, and it's very invasive here in Germany and causing a lot of problems. But that moth and the scarce volatile, the caterpillars feed on them unfortunately, they don't feed in that amount that they could kill the trees, but yeah, at least it's a step. And as you see, the adult ones are very nice camouflage, just like dead leaves. And they are mating. And if you haven't seen the weevil, I'll show you. Here it is. Very excellent camouflage. Now let's continue. Then you're almost finished. Lucky guys. Can you spot all the 5 tortoise beetles? I'll leave you some seconds. It's on Chenopodium album, which is a weed in Australia, but here it's quite common plant. And that Cassida nebulosa, it depends on them. It's a host plant. And now I'll count the 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, but it doesn't count. Yeah. Well, since a child, I think tortoise beetles are one of my favorite beetles because they can hide everything. It's very, very joyful. Then this is the second last slide. I think it's very exciting discovery. It's a botfly, and the botflies are very nasty ones, so they can shoot their eggs or larvae into the nose or nostrils of the root here, and then the larvae will develop inside the throat. And not a nice imagination, but yeah, that's the style they live. And when we were visiting the tower to enjoy the landscape, we saw these hoverflies flying around and sitting on the border. And I thought, I have to catch one. And when I caught one, I saw they don't have a proboscis or don't have most parts. I thought, maybe a botfly. And in the end, it was. And they're very, it's very common for them or popular for them to perform this hill topping on towers. Hill topping is a behavior to gather on landmarks like a hill or big trees or towers to attract each other to find a partner for mating. But yeah, the imagination that they can aim and shoot the eggs in your nose was not a nice one. But luckily they only go on reindeer and not on humans. This is my last slide. It got very exciting when I found on the last day. I found the last earwig species I was searching for. We only have 6 earwig species in Germany, and this was the last one. We did a light sheet evening, so to attract moths, and there was a lesser earwig on the last, but the very last night. And then I thought, on the very last day, we have a dung heap here. I have to go there and check if I can find more of them. And then I went there with I forgot the English name. Now with something like a table, not a table, a dish, and then or bowl, and then I put some dung in there, and then I checked, and then I found them, and then I thought I should do a meme out of it that during the life, even if you have a hard time and you dig through shit, you should overcome the time, and in the end, life pays back and it's fun. All right, this was my talk. I hope you enjoyed it. Are there any questions?
Thank you, John. Yes, are there any questions, Jonathan?
I have to finish it. Okay. Are there any questions?
Great talk, Jonathan. Have you ever had a human have a botfly lay an egg in its nose or not?
No. These were only males who were doing this, and as I said, they are all very host specific. So we have few botfly species. They are all host specific, but one friend told that her brother, she had a skin botfly in her arm or on her back, and then he has then he accidentally killed the larvae inside the skin, and then he had some problems. They had to get to the doctor, but usually they stay with the host. But in other parts of the world, the human is frequently used, but only for skin botflies. I don't think for the nose botflies.
I think I've seen a veterinary procedure where they pull the botfly larva out of the cat's nose, and it was big as an Australian cicada. It was huge. I couldn't believe it.
Nom. Yeah.
Creepy. If there are other questions, perhaps you could ask them at the end.
Close recording.